Welcome everyone, I'm Kimberly Boschman and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode of the Weekly Compass, we're going to take a look at the energies for March 1st through the 7th, 2021. This is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. Also, I want to mention that the forecasts for each life path number for March 2021 are up on my YouTube channel and my podcast now. So if you haven't had a chance to check those out, head on over and check them out now. Well, after you listen to this podcast. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the energies, the numerology and the energy for the week of the 1st through the 7th. So we start this week off in a 1 cycle. So this is going to be a time for new starts, time for action, and forward momentum. So if you feel like you've sort of been, things have been kind of slow moving, you might get some hits and then all of a sudden things slow down. This is going to be a time for really ramping up, for getting those new ideas, those inspirations, and going for it. Taking those big leaps of faith, taking those first steps towards whatever it is that you want to create, whatever it is that you want to do. If it's about a relationship or something like that, then going for it. This is going to be a time for originality, that's key, and making decisions. This is going to be an opportunity for you to, if you feel like your energy's sort of been scattered or your focus has been really scattered, then this is going to be a time when concentration and focused attention towards a specific idea or goal can really cause that idea to take form at this time and become a reality in the material world. So very, very supportive energy for, again, turning those ideas into something tangible, or at least taking the first steps towards that. This is going to be a time to be fully conscious of your own authenticity and your originality, to take those big steps into something that has been calling to you, to take action on, no matter how many butterflies you feel in your tummy. You have important things to achieve in this lifetime, and the time to begin that is now. The energy is so supportive for you to, again, take those risks, take those big leaps of faith, take those first steps towards creating or starting something new in your life that has been calling to you for some time now, or that just pops in at this time. So then we move into the end of the week, and we end the week with a 7 cycle. So what's interesting is this week really has sort of these polarizing energies. I don't really want to say polarizing. They're just, you have the very masculine energy of the 1 at the beginning of the week, and then you have the more feminine energy of the 7 at the end of the week. And so it's, again, going to really be about making sure that you find your balance this week within you, for your own masculine and feminine energies from within, right? This 7 cycle is really going to be about self-analysis, reflection, rest, which is a very feminine energy. So again, this is going to be a time to just check in with yourself, to really check in with yourself, slow down a little bit, where the beginning of the week is all about that action, taking those big steps. At the end of the week, things kind of quiet down a little bit. It's more about checking in, leaning into, however you're feeling. It feels a lot more organic. Just check in with yourself, body, mind, spirit at the end of the week to see where you are, to see where you feel balanced, to see where you feel out of alignment, and really kind of honor whatever you're feeling and nurture yourself. Okay, this is going to be a great time for not only that self-analysis, but also for that self-nurturing. Make sure that you make some time around this 7 cycle for relaxation. If you find yourself pushing yourself too hard, then this is going to be a time to find ways to release that pressure a bit, to release the steam. So don't, try not to shame yourself or guilt yourself if you have a million things to do on your to-do list. You didn't get through them all. Now you're in this 7 cycle and you're feeling guilty for not accomplishing whatever it is that you wanted to accomplish. Just give yourself a little bit of slack. Give yourself permission to just be, right? To find your own stillness, to find your balance, to find the calm, because you're going to be doing yourself much more of a service to be able to do that, as opposed to just pushing through it, right? I mean, some things in life, can't be avoided. We have to push through. But this, I feel like, is going to be a time where if you can, and not just like your ego telling you that you can't, but if there's not some kind of urgent emergency or something happening around you where you can't just find your stillness, then do that. Find your stillness, relax, allow yourself that time and that space to rejuvenate so that you're ready for the week ahead, right? So really feeling that very, very strongly, to honor anything that comes up for you that's asking you to slow down, to release the grip of control, to surrender, and again, to self-soothe and self-nurture and all of those very maternal, feminine energies, okay? So as I look at the energy for the week, it's very interesting. We kind of have we have some interesting dynamics coming up this week. So at the very beginning of the week, which really is in tune and aligned with this one cycle, we have this energy of sort of like your soul is like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to, it's like all amped and like ready to take that leap of faith, to take those big first steps. It's raring to go. But then you have your ego stepping in immediately with oh, no, wait, hold on. We have to be careful of this. We need to be mindful of this. Oh, we can't do that because, it will disrupt too much. It'll cause too much chaos, or, oh no, that's too far out my comfort zone. I can't go there. And your soul's like, come on. I want to go. And your ego's like, oh no, we got to stay really restricted. So there's really this energy of asking yourself and taking a closer look at what's holding you back from taking that leap of faith. What's holding you back from, exploring what your soul wants to explore. It's like your soul is ready and your soul knows that you're ready. But for some reason, your ego keeps stepping in with that fear, that doubt, or maybe there's actually a person who's holding you back, or a circumstance that you feel is holding you back. It's kind of this energy where it's like your soul knows where it wants to go, but there's something that keeps kind of keeping you tethered. I don't necessarily know that it's a person or a circumstance. It really does kind of feel like it's more fear or doubt that, like, oh, I can't do this because it will disrupt everything that I know, or it will make too much of a ripple effect in this calm that I'm trying to create. But the interesting thing is, I really do believe that our souls came here for the experiences, for the growth, for, the challenges and the lessons, to be able to pull further wisdom and expand and to better understand ourselves, right? And we can't do that when we overly restrict ourselves through fear, self-doubt, whatever the case may be. It's like sometimes, it's like when we get those little butterflies, those are a good sign. Those are like there's something here that's like, brought a spark of life back, and I need to like explore this, even though I don't know how it's going to turn out, or, it might take me so beyond my comfort zone that it scares me. But there's still that level of connection or excitement that you can feel from your soul level that just really wants to do it. There may be consequences to that, or, things that come up that need to be addressed, of course, but it's all part of the process. And so again, it's like if we keep ourselves too restricted or too confined, then we're not giving our souls the opportunity for that expansiveness. And a lot of times, the universe will step in and create those experiences for us to experience because we were too afraid to do it on our own. But, I feel like at this time we have the invitation. There's going to be an opportunity, and it's so supported with this one cycle, to step out, to explore, to take a leap of faith, take the risk, just to see what comes of it, right? You might take that first step and be like, oh, I really like this, and want to take more steps. But you won't know unless you take that first step. So I feel like this is going to be not only an opportunity to take that big step, but to also take a closer look at those, like a real deep, closer look at those fears that are holding you back. Because awareness is the key to breaking free, right? It's like you have to take those first steps, right? To know if it's a path that you want to go down. So it's almost like it's kind of like a rubber band effect, where it's like your soul is like pulling you, like, I want to go. But then it's like your ego snaps back. just like if you pull a rubber band and then let it go and it snaps back, it's like your ego is pulling you back to quote unquote protect you, which actually it's hurting you more than it's helping you, but it's like it's pulling you back out of fear of the unknown. It's pulling you back out of fear of what could happen, right? As opposed to the good things that could come of it, right? So anyway, so it's like, just think of that like the rubber band example. When whatever it is comes up for you, if you're like, you feel that pull to want to go, but then you get snapped back by the fear, the doubt, whatever. This is going to be a time for you to explore what is your rubber band, right? What keeps pulling you back? What's keeping you tethered so tightly that you just can't break free, right? And that can be a person, that can be a circumstance, that can be whatever. But I really do feel like it's a fear or fear of the unknown, something like that, or some kind of self-doubt that's doing that. So again, just take a look at like when your soul is raring to go and you keep pushing the pause button, what is your pause button? Because that's where you need to start to work through that, to deconstruct whatever that is so that you can see what you're actually working with and then transmute it, move beyond it, and step outside that comfort zone. Because I'm telling you, this one energy is so supportive of like taking those risks, experiencing as much as you can experience authentically and with originality. So keep that in mind too. You don't want to take your risks or those big steps to necessarily please someone else or out of obligation. You want to do it because it speaks to you, because it's your soul raring to go on this. All right. So very powerful energies at the beginning of the week. And with that one energy is always pushing you outside of your comfort zone. It's always asking you to take the lead. It's always asking you to step outside of the known, right? Like one energy is that they are those visionaries. They use their ingenuity. They are creating things that haven't been created before. So it's like big tasks, but that's what your soul came here for, is to experience that. Our souls, I believe, did not come here to be stagnant. That's where your soul sort of just loses its energy. It's kind of like, again, we need to keep taking those risks, those big leaps of faith, those big action items to really experience what we came here to experience. So, okay, I think I've covered that. Then we move into the middle part of the week. And this is kind of more of the same a little bit. We've got this energy, but this really feels like around like purchasing something, selling something, maybe something material. It feels very material driven, but it also feels like this push and pull. So it's kind of like, again, we still have this push pull kind of polarity energy where it's like you want to buy something, you want to maybe sell something, you want to begin something new, maybe a new relationship or explore that relationship. But then the fear comes in and you go back to the attachment of what you know. So it's the same thing. It's kind of like that rubber band experience. It's like you can see the potential or the possibilities associated with this new start, but then you're also so accustomed to the old way of doing things that you've always done, or an old sort of sense of security, that you're afraid to branch out and just see what these other opportunities may hold. Now, again, I'm not saying that, every decision that we make is necessarily the best decision for our journey, meaning that there could be more comfortable paths, right? But sometimes the more comfortable paths lead to stagnation. So again, it's kind of like, where can your soul get the most growth? Where can your soul get the most experience? While it's in life form, right? While it's in physical form. So I feel like there's going to be a pull or a draw to whatever this is, but then you're going to be falling back into the, why you should not do it. So again, it's like if you're thinking about buying a car, let's say you want to buy a Lexus, but then you're like, you love the Lexus. You're like, I want this car. But then you're like, oh no, I can't, I don't deserve this. I don't, whatever the case may be. And then you fall back and you end up buying whatever. I'm not going to say name a car because I'm not biased. I don't care. But I'm just saying, like, you don't buy whatever it is that you want. You end up buying a bicycle or something like that, right? You're like, oh no, this is all I deserve. This is all, I got to play it safe. But you really, really desire, and you're making a conscious decision to get something that speaks to you, that calls to you, that brings you joy, that brings you comfort, whatever the case may be. And you're restricting yourself from doing that, right? It's the same thing like if you're in like a relationship and you're like, I'm going to stay with this relationship because it feels like a pair of nice, cozy, warm, worn out shoes. You know what I mean? It feels very comfortable, secure, safe. So I'm not going to branch out and explore other things, even though I no longer feel fulfilled here, or there's something more that's pulling me in another direction. I don't know, it's depending on how it comes in for you. Or it's like you've been in the same house your whole life and you really want to sell and get something different, but this house, all of the little nooks and crannies. And so why would you branch out into something new and unknown? But the piece of that is it's in the branching out, it's in the exploration that the new experiences, the new opportunities come in for us. So again, it's kind of like if you're starting to feel stagnant in something, and it could just be as simple as like, maybe you don't need to like uproot everything. Maybe you just need to put a new fresh coat of paint on the walls in your house that you've been in for 20 years, right? Or maybe it's like you have a car you've had for, your whole life and you don't want to buy a new car, but you want to, but you also would be happy with just doing some kind of upkeep with it, right? And like some kind of transformation. So again, I think my point is there's this energy around something, a new opportunity, a new chance to branch out, whatever, but there's that feeling of like being sucked back in to the known, whatever it is that you're attached to, whatever it is that makes you feel a sense of security, even if it's a false sense of security, and you keep getting sucked back into that. So again, the key is to take a closer look at what keeps pulling you back and what do you feel like why are you saying no to whatever this is? Because when it comes to, let's just use money as an example. It's like money is an energy, and it's like the healthier relationship we can have with money, then the more abundant we can feel. So it's like if we're in an extreme where we're like overspending and like living beyond our means, that's an extreme and that's an unhealthy relationship with money. But so is being overly restrictive and going into deprivation mode, like depriving yourself of the things that you have earned or deserve and want because of fear of losing, your wealth or whatever the case may be, or fear of lack. So again, it's like finding that balance in between. Then we move into the end of the week, into that sort of more 7 energy, that feminine energy. And what's really interesting is this is a little bit different than anything that's sort of come in, but I think it's really beautiful. And I'm glad that it's coming because I think it needs to be said. But there's this energy around sort of give and take. And really it's about giving back to the planet in some way. So, I feel like as a collective, obviously we can see this across the globe, but we really take the resources that the earth gives us. We take from, nature constantly. And I don't know, collectively, I think we do a poor job of giving back to our home, to that living, breathing, sentient being that is the earth, right? Everything that we harvest from the earth is a living energy. And so I feel like for so many years, we as a collective have really taken more than we've given back. And so I feel like in this 7 cycle, this is going to be a time where we can really individually find our own way to sort of give back to the planet in a way, right? Give back to nature. This can be a great time if you don't currently recycle to start recycling. If you are somebody who is, eats a lot of meat, and this isn't a judgment, but you could maybe go vegan for the day. Or, and that's not that hard, find something that calls to you and do that, right? Or maybe choose to go vegan once a week for a month and just see how it goes, right? And then maybe if you live in a place where you can, where the weather is amicable for planting a tree, then plant a tree right now. This can be a time, especially in the northern hemispheres, we're starting to go into spring, to start gathering wildflower seeds so that you can plant wildflowers for the bees and the birds. Make your backyard, wildlife friendly. That can really give back to nature and to the earth. If you don't live somewhere where, or you can't come up with a way that feels good for you, maybe you live in the city and you just don't have access or whatever. I feel like we can all find a way to give back in some way. But if you, or if you live in near nature and you just want to go into the forest, go to the beach, go surround yourself with nature and just give a heartfelt, genuine thank you from your heart center. So just fill your heart with gratitude for the planet, for the earth, for nature, and just let that gratitude shine through, shine out, cover, and just visualize it covering the entire planet and just giving that thanks back. I do feel like this is very necessary at this time that we do this individually, because as we do it individually, we start to see it bleed into the collective consciousness and start to become a thing, right? So it's like the more gratitude that we can show to this living sentient being that is the earth, the more that it's like we're creating the natural harmony. We're creating that natural balance. And I think that for so long, obviously, it's been out of balance. We just continue to take and take and take and not return anything back to the earth. And so I think this is going to be a time where we need to start thinking about that. And this 7th cycle is great for that. So again, just start thinking about the things that you can start doing in the spring or even now, again, like just recycling or whatever the case may be, or using less plastic, or again, we have power through what we choose to purchase, right? So it's kind of like maybe just be more mindful about what it is that you're choosing to purchase and give power to, right? So anyway, that is coming in really, really strongly. So however you can do that, and that can even be, again, just like if you live in the city and you don't really have access to nature fully, then maybe like if you have a house plant, then just give gratitude to that house plant for the living oxygen that it like provides, right? There's so much that you can do, but I do feel like there's this time where we need to, again, that reflection and that self-analysis for just seeing what can we do a little bit better when it comes to being a partner in this life experience with the earth, with nature, with the animals, etc. So that's actually really, really beautiful energy. So however you choose to harness it and use it, then yeah, just enjoy it because it's very beautiful, very powerful. Okay, so I feel like this week is a little all over the place, but really focused on checking in with yourself, just seeing where those, where it is that you really want to step out in a big way, but you feel like you keep getting pulled back by that rubber band effect. And just figure out where it is that you keep pushing the pause button. What is your rubber band and how can you break free from it? I think that's going to come up quite a bit this week. All right, everyone. Happy March. I hope it's a beautiful week for you all, and I will be back again soon. Take care. Bye for now.